We are joined now by Nick, the man mistaken for Travis Decker. Nick, thanks for talking with us. When did you first realize people thought you were a triple killer?
That was Monday morning after the event.
And how did you learn that they were looking for somebody matching your description?
My friend that was on the trip with me sent me a news article and a text that said something to the effect of, "We were in camp with a murderer. There is a manhunt happening right now."
And so at that point, did you realize they were talking about you, or did you think it was somebody completely different?
No, I assumed that we spent the night with a triple or quadruple murderer. I've lost count at this point. They vary.
Hmm.
And the best information I have was the current news articles as of Monday morning, and they were still developing.
Wow.
So our thoughts were, holy cow, that was a close one. I'm glad we didn't meet the guy.
Wow. Well, they put out the description, gauge earrings and or gauges in their ears, the beard, tattoos on the arm. You got tattoos on your arm?
I do.
Okay, but those don't look anything like Travis Decker's tattoos, do they?
No, I'm not very familiar with what his tattoos look like, but
Yeah.
I've been told that they don't look the same.
Yeah. Did you reach out to the marshals because they were looking to talk for people in that area?
No, I didn't really realize what was going on until Tuesday. The news articles updated, and I shared the story with my coworkers because it was like, that's a hair-raising event, right? I just spent the night in proximity to a murderer is being hunted actively. On Tuesday, there was more detail and some updates to these news articles, and it described the man's appearance and down to almost every article of clothing and the location and the time. I mean, the campsite we were in was named. It wasn't like this area, it was the Bear Creek transfer camp. So I started wondering, and we all kind of got a laugh, but also an eye raising moment there.
Yeah.
That they're actually looking for me, aren't they? It wasn't until Tuesday that I knew.
Wow. How long did it take to clear things up with law enforcement?
Well, so Tuesday, shortly after I connected the dots, I called the ranger station that oversees that area. It's a really small town and it's a busy time of year. There's not always somebody at the desk. So I left a voicemail. I tried a national number. I talked with some lady in Washington, D.C., because I knew that there were helicopters and people out hunting for me. And they're not going to find the guy they're looking for because I'm not the guy and I'm not there. So that we're just burning resources, right? On Wednesday, I got another message from my friend, and he let me know that apparently they were looking for his van. I drove separately. We drove our own vehicles, and now they're looking for his van, and they're closing the area down. They're like, there are problems afoot. So I called the ranger station again. I got a person that time.
Mhm.
I told her what was going on. She said, "Oh, wow, that's not good. Let me get your info and I will forward it to law enforcement." And they called me within the hour. And then within an hour of that, they showed up at my office.
And what did they say when they got there?
Well, we cleared the conference room and we went in the conference room, and they had very pointed questions about exactly where. I mean, like zooming in on an aerial map and pointing this place, that place, what time, during which day, what were we doing, who was with me, what did you do in the morning, what did you do when you may have been sighted, what did you do after the sighting. They took detailed photos of my tattoos. They asked for the make and model of the Vans I was wearing, which are now apparently quite infamous. um, I understand that it would throw people off that I appeared to be hiking in Vans, but I was just going on a day hike, and the trail starts with a, I don't know, 100-foot wide knee deep creek crossing. I just had a day pack on. There were some reports that I looked very unprepared. I was only planning on being out there a couple hours, so I was pretty comfortable doing what I was doing the way I was doing it. Anyway, I just they kind of grilled me, but in a friendly fashion, because they had to make sure that I was the guy that was cited. Because if they called off a manhunt that was actually from a credible tip, well, that's an even bigger problem, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you seen the photo of Travis Decker with the beard and the mustache when they first put it out? And do you think you look anything like Travis?
I have seen that photo, and no, I do not. We share a hair color, I suppose. Part of it was because he was described. I keep wearing the hat for for interviews. You're only my second interview. I'm not out there a lot, but I've worn the hat on purpose because it's the hat I was spotted in. That was part of the description. We have a similar beard color. I decided just to quit shaving for a year because I had nothing better to do. So the beard was described as overgrown. I do have small pencil-sized black gauge earrings. I did have a light-colored shirt on. I had a black day pack. So on paper, I really did fit the description. We're the same height, same weight. I had sunglasses on the whole time, so you couldn't really see my eyes or half of my face, really. And the person that I believe called me in, the closest I ever got to them was maybe 30 yards, 20 yards. I was a ways away. They were in a side-by-side, a Razor, driving up this trail, and I was keeping my distance because I didn't want to interfere with them driving, and I didn't want to get run over. And it all led to this.
Yeah. Did you ever feel unsafe knowing you'd been mistaken for that triple murder suspect?
No, when I was out there, I had no idea any of this was happening. I just carried about my business. I left the campground within 2 hours of the sighting. I went somewhere else. I went and got a hamburger at a restaurant in a small town about 25 miles downstream from the campground. I hung out there for a while. I chatted with people. And then I just drove off on a dirt road in the middle of nowhere. And I stayed the night in the middle of nowhere under the stars. And then I got home Sunday. And then it wasn't until Monday where my friend said, "Hey, we were hanging out possibly with a murderer."
Wow. Well, thank you for clearing things up. I know you had to take some extra steps just to get in touch with the right person. Hopefully this won't affect you going forward, but we certainly appreciate your time talking with us, Nick.
Yeah, well, thanks for finding me. You found me better than the cops did.
That's what
no,
we
they're doing a fine job.
Yeah.
You gotta take your shots when you can. But
yeah. Well, hopefully
we'll try to make light out of a serious situation.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll get the real Travis Decker in custody soon. Thank you again for your time.